Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Easily Knitfluenced and my name is Michelle. Hot off the blocking mats, I have not one but two finished objects for you today for this podcast episode. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and get your knitting and let's get started. So the big finished object that I am delighted to share with you is my terracotta sweater, which I am wearing by Knit or Lena Holmes Samso. Oh, I'm so happy with this. So happy. Like I can't tell you how thrilled I am with this sweater. I'll do the usual. I'm going to insert B-roll and other pictures so you can see the full length of this and see the back and all that good stuff. But look how beautiful this is. Does this not scream winter? I am a little hot, not gonna lie, I'm a little hot sitting here, but it's okay. It is an absolute dream sweater. So let's talk about the construction. Obviously this is a colorwork sweater, but it is a classic drop shoulder, as you can hopefully see. You start on the back, increase, there's some short rows, and then you knit the kind of the front panels and join in the front and then eventually join in the round. It does mean that you need to knit colorwork, stranded colorwork flat. Oddly enough, I have not really had an issue with this historically. I've kind of been okay doing that. It's a little fiddly to do it on the purl side, but my tension on purling and knitting and everything is kind of the same, quite honestly, so it just takes a little more concentration. But really, it's only like up to here. And then the rest you're doing just, straight color work. And the nice thing about this pattern is, as you can see, there is color work on it. But if you look, there's also these texture panels. So there's two different types of texture pattern. This one right here, you keep the same needle size and you go down a needle size, or two needle sizes rather, for this one. And it's just alternating rows of knits, purls, knitting rows, etc. Very simple. She explains all of this really well, but it gives this nice kind of potato chippy project where you're not constantly doing color work, you're not constantly doing one knit pattern or always stockinette. So once I really got humming on this project, it went pretty quickly. So let's talk about the yarn I used, which I will show you. I have a little bit of each one left. So this is Lallan DK by Di Gilpin. That's D-I Gilpin, G-I-L-P-I-N. And it is a 100% lamb's wool yarn. Now, this is a DK weight project, or it's suggested you use a DK weight yarn. When I first saw this yarn, I went, I don't think this is a DK weight yarn, but I was wrong because it does bloom. And actually, I'm going to see if I can show you the structure of this yarn. I don't know what they call this, but get close here and it won't focus. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of almost a chain yarn, and that does give it a little bit of heft. And the fact that it's 100% lamb's wool means it does great in color work. So I just feel like it grips really nicely. It gives a really smooth kind of finish on the color work, and it's so soft. Butter soft. I'm wearing this just over a bra today. I don't have a t-shirt on underneath, nothing. And I'm hot, right? It's hot. Like, it's not winter yet. I'm hot in this, but I'm not prickly. I don't feel itchy. I'm just, feeling a little warm in it. It's a lovely, lovely yarn. Cannot say enough good things about this. I'm going to see how this wears over the course of the winter, but I'm already eyeing this yarn for an Augustin's DK project, because I think that calls for a DK weight gauge, and it's a lot of color work, so love it. And the two colors I use, the white one is called Crowdy, and then this elevated mushroom color is called Driftwood. Love the taupey browny grays at the moment. I'm really into that kind of rotten wood mushroom color. Like it. What else to say about the yarn? The other great thing about this is it's very light. So again, with color work, I think, not that this is all over color work, but it does have the tendency to get a little heavier, right? Because you're carrying strands across big sections of your work. This, for being a DK weight sweater, feels very light as well for a colorwork sweater. So again, if you've got all over colorwork and you're looking for a yarn for your next project, give this one a look, because it's It's lovely. It's up there now as one of my favorites. I'm so impressed with this. My only complaint is they don't have a ton of colors. I think it's maybe 12 colors, I want to say. So, you know, that's a little bit of a bummer, but at the same time, I'm happy to work within that range. So I think they have a light blue or a light green that I might pair with the white for my next colorwork project. Lovely. Again, can't say enough good things. A weird thing about this pattern, I will say, is I did not have enough of this yarn, and I bought what it said to buy for my size. I was way off, like way off. And I'll show you, maybe you can, I'll stand up for a second here. So do you see here, like all of this here down, this was extra. Like the pattern actually ends here. So all of this section was extra that I had to buy white yarn for. Same thing on the sleeves. So I think the sleeves would have ended, let's try to do the math here. Yeah, so they would have ended here. This I added. So this section, that section I added because it said, you know, do this and then just stocking it to the cuff. I'm like, that's going to be a big white section. So I did not do that. I just bought 2 more balls of yarn and that was more than enough to get all of this finished. But oddly enough, I had a lot of this. So I only bought 2 of these for the entire project, and I've basically got 1 entire ball of this left. So, you know, I guess just think about this as you buy yarn for the project if you're not buying the suggested yarn, because I was totally off in how much I needed. But, you know, my stitch gauge was accurate, so I don't know if my row gauge was just completely off, but anyway, no big deal. You know, they stock it at my local yarn store, so I just went and bought a couple more. So just something to think about. So yeah, other things to say about this, nothing but positive things. Honestly, the pattern is well written. I really like Lee Knit's patterns. I did her Peggy sweater last year, which was similarly well written. What I like about her is she doesn't have 10,000 charts. So yes, you know, some of this is charted, but for the sleeves, for example, she has 1 chart for each size, and it kind of just has, I don't know how to describe this. It's sort of like a tower and kind of goes in, and then there's just lines that show you like which size you're knitting and which, you know, where you need to be decreasing. And she just does it in such an ingenious but very efficient way where you're not kind of leafing through hundreds of pages of patterns. So I definitely appreciate that. And she's just a good writer. All of it is very clear. It's concise. There's not too much information. There's not too little. You're not kind of grasping at straws trying to figure out what to do next, but she also doesn't overload you with explanation where you're skipping whole paragraphs because it's just, you know, not relevant to your skill level. So I am personally a huge fan of her patterns. And I'm glad I finished this now because not a minute too soon, she has just released a new one, which I'm forgetting the name of, but I saw the pictures and I was like, be still, my beating heart. I'll put them up here. Oh, does this not scream Christmas to you? I'm like, okay, well, I finished one, so now I have to immediately cast this on because, oh my gosh, how pretty. And I love her colorwork stuff, and I love her writing, so big success. I am so in love with my terracotta. I think it's just a beautiful sweater, and I can't wait to wear it all winter. So I will report back on how this yarn wears over time, but I've washed this like multiple times. So I think I did 2 mid-project blocks, and then I did a last final, you know, when I put everything together block, and like, I'm not seeing, like, it's a very smooth, there's a little bit of a halo, but it's like a very smooth, easy yarn. So I have high hopes for this. We shall see. Okay, now my second and third, I guess it's technically 2 things, but I'll call it a second finished object is, ta-da! Here are my Songbird mittens by Erica Heuser. I'll put them on for you. These are done. I put it in my last podcast episode. I said, I'm putting it in the universe. I want these done. And I just was gripped by inspiration. I'm getting even hotter now. I was gripped by inspiration and I got them done. So more color work. As you can tell, I am really holding true to my color work New Year's resolution. My ring is getting caught here. Hang on. You know what? I'm just going to put 1 on because my ring is getting caught on the other one. So you can kind of see how it looks here. I'll show you the thumb too. This will focus for me. Yep. Really beautiful color work project. And I knit this out of 2 fingering weight yarns, both from Pearl Soho, and I still have a little bit of each left, so I'll show you. Green and pink. The green yarn is Echo Cashmere, which is their recycled cashmere yarn in the color Conifer Green. And then the pink is Quartz. The yarn's name is Quartz, which is an alpaca something blend, and the color is Pink Starfish. So these are both fingering weight yarns. I'd say the green is a little thicker. So there is a little, like, you might be able to see a tiny little bit of puckering, like here. There's a few areas where it's not lying completely flat. I think, number one, that's my inexperience with color work, but also I think if I had been working the same yarn, or the same type of yarn, for both colors, I think this probably wouldn't have happened, but it's so minor. I mean, you can barely see it. I don't think it's a big deal. So again, this is a wonderful pattern. It is, I mean, all of 3 pages long, including the charts. So very, very simple, but I did not find these difficult at all. And I just added on my own, I added the Latvian braid here on each one. I wish I'd done one at the bottom too. For my next mitten, I want to do one there and then one up here too. But that technique as well, I just looked it up on YouTube, you know, it's pretty simple. And I think they're lovely. Now, it is a very simple pattern. It's a one-size pattern. I've said this before. It says it's a women's medium pattern. I don't know if I just kind of got a crazy gauge on this, but once these are blocked, I mean, look how big this is compared to my head. This is a giant, and I have giant hands, so these actually fit me very well. But yeah, if you really are a women's medium, or if you're a women's small, you probably want to gauge swatch for this one. I did not, because I just figured I'll start knitting with these 2 yarns and, you know, I will find out pretty soon if this is going to fit or not. Luckily, it did fit. But yeah, if you're a significantly smaller size than me, which most women are, yeah, you might want to think twice about just starting. I would definitely gauge swatch and at least kind of get a sense of where you're at with your yarns. I just didn't have the patience for that. I just wanted to get started. So, yeah, other than that, though, really simple. One glove I did with Magic Loop, which was hell. The other one I bought some shorties, which was the left one, and that was way better. So much better. So I thoroughly enjoyed this project. I am going to look at some of her other patterns and see what else there is that I would like to knit. But yeah, this, oddly enough, so it has a lot of alpaca in it because it has the quartz. I have issues with alpaca around here. Apparently not on my hands though, because I, put these gloves on, no problem at all. I don't know, odd. So maybe from now on, if I have alpaca in my stash, I'll just use it on mittens because evidently there's no problem with me having alpaca on my hands. It's just in the neck, throat, and décolleté area, not a good mix. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about these. They are absolutely lovely. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to wear them. Again, I am just itching for that cold weather. Like, we're getting there, but we still have a couple hot days here and there, and like, no, I need that. I need that cold. Come on, bring it on, guys. So I want snow, I want winter, and I am going to eat these words when we're in the middle of January, and I'm so sick of cold. But anyway, that's true to how I'm feeling right now. So those are my finished objects for this podcast. And now I actually have a lot of progress on my whips as well. So let's get into those. And I do have one new cast on because I have 2 finished objects. So that obviously means that I can cast on a different thing, right? So let's get into whips first. And I'm going to start in a different order than I normally do if you've been watching me. So I'm actually going to start today with my Carlotta sweater by Morka Knit, which I finally joined in the round. Okay, we are in the round now, guys. It's been a minute. I got there, and this is curling like crazy, but hopefully you can see what's going on here. So this is what she looks like. Lovely. And it feels so much easier now that we're in the round. I gotta be honest, getting to this point was kind of a slog. Like, there's a lot of breaking the yarn, picking up. I mean, you can even see here, like, look at all these ends. Look, just ends everywhere. I mean, I think it's because it's I guess this is technically a saddle shoulder, although I didn't knit these parts first. Yeah, it's odd because you do the back section, and then there's these portions at the top that are sort of your shoulder, and then you kind of cut the yarn again and then do this front section. So yeah, the top doesn't, like, it's not continuous into the front. So that has just meant lots of ends and, things, and it was just a bit of a slog. And like doing the slip stitch with the pearls was annoying and slower than I would be just knitting in the round. So, this is still not the speediest project by any means, but I do feel like now I'm going to make significantly more progress. But I am knitting this in the suggested yarn, which is La Mana Como, and that is in the color Slate Gray, which is one of the sample picture colors. I bought those exact yarns because I just loved how it looked so much. And I haven't really made any changes to this. I think the only thing I've changed is my needle size, just to kind of get close to the gauge. So I'm using a US 6, which is a 4mm needle. I think the pattern actually calls for a US 7, so 4.5. But I was getting like a very... Once it was blocked, the fabric was looking a little open, so I sized down to the 6. And I think that was the right call, because I know this will expand a lot, and then I'll get some nice positive ease with this once it's been washed and blocked. But we're a long way from a mid-project block on this one, so we'll need to get a little more length on the body, and then we'll see how we're doing. But, I mean, beautiful. Look at the shape. Oh, it's curling again. I'm trying to show you guys how the neckline looks, the V-neck. Look how pretty. And now it's not focusing. See that? It's perfect. Her design is just, again, it's so good. She's a great pattern writer. Even the formatting of her patterns is sublime. It's excellent. She's, again, couldn't recommend her highly enough. My vest by her didn't work out because I chose the wrong fiber, but the pattern itself, like chef's kiss, beautiful, love it. So I'm thrilled with this, and I'm really happy I'm in the round now because it'll make things so much easier. So yeah, stay tuned on this one. This'll start moving now. Okay, and one that is not moving as fast as I would like, but is still moving, kind of, despite all the things I've been messing up, is my jean cardigan by Colibri by Johanna. And it's coming. I've knit, I think the last time I talked to you, I had just joined in the round. So that's significant progress, right? Like it's moving. And still, I just find like every week there's some issue with this. Like last week, I was knitting on it and, I'm in the round. I'm not in the round. I'm back and forth now. So there's no increases or anything. And then I just found an extra stitch. Like, where did this come from? Is this like cellular mitosis in my stitches? I didn't put in an extra stitch because it's a lace pattern. I would have noticed if there was an extra stitch. It's a complete mystery to me. I have no idea. And so I just kind of did a knit two together. I'm like, I'm not gonna, I was looking for where it happened. I'm like, I don't see it. Don't see where the extra stitch could have come from. So I took somebody's advice and I actually put in little stitch markers for every time the lace pattern repeats. So hopefully if this happens again, I will find where it happened, or I'll just do another knit two together and hide it. That's also an option. Yeah, so it's moving, but, actually now that I'm looking at it, I might be close to a mid-project block on this. Because this is supposed to be somewhat cropped, so I think maybe a couple more repeats and I might block this and see what's happening. But let me grab the yarn that I'm using for this so I can show you guys. Okay, so the yarn I'm using is the suggested yarn, which is by Mayo Garn. It's their merino and then their pearl mohair. So the merino, this one is, I'll show you again, slate blue, which is like, to me, it's like storm cloud blue. It's beautiful. And then this is anemone. I think this is probably one of the softest mohairs I've worked with. And let's see here. Okay, it's 70% mohair, 30% silk. So it's got kind of a higher silk content, I think, than knitting for olive. I'll have to double check that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this is one of the suggested yarns, which I decided to do just to be safe because it's lace and I was not sure what my gauge would look like. Little did I know my gauge would be the least of my problems in this project. It's just the design and the pattern writing. But, if you want to see all of my extensive ranty thoughts on that, go back to my other podcasts. You'll see it all there. It's been a journey. But I think I'm pretty confident I can get the body done. Now I'm just worried about the sleeves and then the button band. So I'm sure you will hear more rants. I'm confident of that. So, next. Okay, this is my Holger for my little son. I'm working on the sleeve now. You know, a bunch of different colors, all in the same yarn, which I'm constantly forgetting the name of. It is Weepaka, I think. Yes, Big Bad Wool Weepaka. And it's superwash merino and alpaca blend. So again, I just keep buying alpaca yarns, but it's for my son. It's a sweater. He's going to wear it on top of shirts anyway, so it won't matter. I'm not wearing it. So yeah, I'm starting on the sleeve. It's a typical petite knit pattern, right? It's very easy to work, nothing complicated. I love that the short rows kind of work into the stripes at the back, so that's handy. You know, the one thing that I kind of noticed now, and I'm 70% of the way through this project, the red and the yellow is giving me real Ronald McDonald vibes. And I didn't think about this when he initially chose these yarns. I did not choose them. He wanted a rainbow sweater. Is Ronald McDonald still a thing? Like in I don't go to McDonald's, so I have no idea if that's even still in their branding. And you can see how much TV I watch because I don't even see ads. But anyway, that's what I started to think of, and now I can't shake it. But I'm hoping that a purple sleeve and then a cobalt blue sleeve on this side will kind of loosen that association in my head. But hey, whatever. I'm not wearing it. It's for my son. It's a really cute kids pattern. But yeah, I love this. I love this. The stripes were really fun. All the different colors are fun. I'm going to have a bunch of scrap yarn left over, so I might do a matching hat or maybe little kid mittens or something, because it is washable wool, so that's nice. And yeah, classic petite knit pattern, not a ton to say. Hopefully I'll get done with this soon because he is bothering me for it every time he sees me knitting on something else. He's like, "Are you done with my sweater yet?" I'm like, not yet, buddy. Working on it, which is not a lie. I am working on it. It's just, I get more excited about adult things because I'm a selfish knitter. What can I say? So on the topic of adult things, here we have my fave. My love for Ozetta. This is the toilet paper cover of Ozetta's Clay Tea, which I'm close to joining in the round. This is, hang on, I'll show it to you the way it's supposed to be seen. So here's the front right now. So I have a couple more repeats of this, I don't even know what you would call this, like texture pattern, I guess, to go in the front, and then we'll be joining in the round. I'm doing the short sleeve version of this. And I'm knitting this out of Pearl Soho Santalina. I only have a tiny scrap left. I'm still on my first ball of this, by the way, so I am hopeful that I will get this done in 3 skeins. This is a 100% plant-based yarn, marketed as fingering weight, but this does bloom. I think you can get away with a sport to light DK for this. And the nice thing about this is it's 328 yards for 100 grams. So these are hefty. They are pretty substantial skeins. So I hope I can get this done in 3. I think I will. So what that does mean, I think if this wears well, I would love to kind of do, I don't know, kids' garments, other things, because this supposedly is washable and dryable, which is, amazing if true. Let's see. But they have fun colors, and for the amount of yardage you get, these are pretty well priced, especially if you get a Pearl Soho sale in there. So I would recommend this yarn so far. It's nice to knit with. It's a plant-based yarn, but it's not hurting my hands or anything. It's a cotton, bamboo, and hemp mix. I haven't noticed any issues knitting with this, unlike the pure silk from Knitting for Olive, which if I do that single, it's like torture for my hands. But this is okay. This is not bad at all. So yeah, TBD on this one. But classic Ozetta pattern, nothing to complain about here. It's a very simple top, but I initially wanted this for summer. I think that ship has obviously sailed. It's fine. It's okay. I will layer this in the fall. I think it's a very wearable top, and it's a wearable color. You can tell I'm in my blues and greens era. I was in my reds and pinks. Now it's blues and greens. So I don't mind. It's okay. I'm happy that, I'm still working on this. I think once it's in the round, again, it'll go pretty quick. And then it's just short sleeves and a little bit of a collar. So yeah, so I think, this is moving along. I'm making progress on everything, which is quite pleasing to me. Even if it's just, an inch for each one, I'm like, okay, we're getting there. Like, we're seeing movement on all of these projects. So that's a very satisfying feeling. All right, then last but not least, this is my new cast on, which is another Ozetta pattern. I think one of her older ones, actually. So this is the back section, which is also curling. This is the back section of the Highland slipover. And I'll just show you what I'm using. This is Camero's Host in the color olive green. So I wasn't kidding when I said I'm in my greens era. I bought a bunch of this yarn, I think 7 balls of it, on sale at my local yarn store. And this is my first blown yarn. I've never worked with a blown yarn before. This is, it's a cotton, I guess, structure with wool and cashmere fibers in it. It's very soft, not prickly at all. I've kind of like draped this over my neck. It's not prickly. And what I really loved about this slipover, well, number one, I was looking for something for this yarn, and I was like, a vest, something like that. I went to Ozetta. I really like the thick collar she has on this. I feel like this is a very versatile garment for exactly this type of season, but I think also for winter. My issue with like big bulky sweaters in the dead of winter is sleeves into jackets. You know, this one actually would probably be okay because it's kind of a thin sleeve, but you know, a lot of sweaters like have just fluffier sleeves. I really hate the feeling of shoving my arms into a jacket and having it all bunch up. This could be a nice fix for that, where, you know, you wear like a long sleeve cotton top, this on top, and then your jacket. So that's kind of my plan for this, in addition to just wearing it, you know, outside on a not cold, not hot day. But yeah, this is a really lovely yarn. Well, obviously this is, I mean, I've just cast this on, but I actually, oddly enough for me, this rarely happens, I sized up on the needle for this. So I am knitting this on a US 8, which is a 5mm needle. The suggested is a US 7. I did the swatch in a 7. I was like 2 stitches, like my gauge was too small. So I have sized up, and I mean, I haven't even blocked this, and it's a pretty opaque garment, so I think we'll be fine. But this gets me somewhat closer to the gauge. It will mean my row gauge is a little longer, but I have a long torso, so I hope that evens out. But yeah, so I cast something on because I got 2 things done, so one thing, and I gotta decide on what else I'm gonna cast on. Haven't decided yet. Suggestions welcome. But that's it for today, guys. It's been a productive 2 weeks, so I am very happy with what's happened here. Yeah, so tell me what you guys are working on. What is new for the fall and for winter, and what are your plans? Would love to hear. And if you have any suggestions on other colorwork projects, kind of in this vein, I'm happy to try new designers, so put those down below too. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.